I think the first thing that you should do once you come to Saddleback would be to meet with a counselor and make a plan. If you don't do so, you're probably just going to end up taking classes that don't really count towards your major, or they might not even transfer.
Student success is all about having a plan of what you want to do, setting up small goals, and accomplishing those goals within a short period of time. Go see your student counselors. They are there to help you and advise you. You should see them at least twice a semester. Set up a plan, follow that plan, stick to the plan. If you do decide to change majors, figure out what you want to do early in school before you get too far along a certain path.
I attribute my success to being a planner and being organized and using calendars, and I also have like 2 planners.
Organization is key for being successful. The one way I stay organized is I keep a planner, and in my planner I write down all of the homework assignments, when I have tests, quizzes, essays are due. I also like to write down what we did in class that day because it gives me a better perspective on what I need to get done.
A way I keep myself really organized in order to make myself study is I go to Starbucks probably 4 times a week to study because I cannot study at home. It's really distracting, but somehow at Starbucks I can focus. I do all my assignments, essays there. If not, I'll go to a library.
When I would get assignments, I would make sure, kind of act as if they were due almost the next day and kind of get a jump start on it, just so, I don't know, we all have problems with procrastination, so I don't know, I just avoided that at all costs.
The main things I've figured out that has helped me is time management, because time management is basically everything. If you don't have time management, you don't have a schedule and you don't have anything. I believe that if you plan everything and you have it all planned out, you're set to go. For homework, I have a journal specifically just for homework, and it's just a big old journal. It just has everything with homework and check boxes all over it, because if I don't know what I need to do, then I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Depending upon the due date, I'll jump into it, but usually I try to get things done as soon as possible and just always keep up to date with what's coming next in the class.
When I'm at home, I don't concentrate because I get so distracted with, Facebook or anything else, and doing homework at the library here or at BGS helped me a lot. So finding a place where you can do homework is important.
When I'm home, I like to study in a closed environment. I can't have any distractions. I usually put my phone away, and I just really try to focus on my studying.
Depending upon the course, I use different study methods. For more hands-on activities, I guess, or for instance like English and other classes like psychology, and trying to think of some of the other electives I've taken. Classes where you mainly have to memorize things, I tend to use flashcards. Other than that, I usually go through the text and kind of review my notes to keep up with my studying, and also do the additional reading that's within the text. So just any little bits of information that could help me remember things for the test.
I put my phone away. That's like the basic one.
Sitting in the front of the class will actually make a big difference in your learning experience, and because if you sit in the front, it doesn't even sound like, oh, big of a deal, sit in the front and sit in the back. I'm still seeing the teacher, I'm still hearing what's going on, not much of a difference. But sitting in the front for me has actually made one of the biggest impacts in my classes and learning. It's like a whole new world up there, honestly. Like, you see all the smart and the nice guys and all the good people, the good girls, whatever, all sit in the front. All the people who don't care about the class, don't want to be there, don't learn, will sit in the back and talk, and it's a bad place. So sitting in the front is actually a really cool thing.
Sitting in the front row helped me because I felt more engaged in the class, and it helped me to concentrate and focus on what the teacher is lecturing on.
Be sure to be be on time is key, especially that's the one thing that I found different, is that just time management, and everything that the teacher says in class, just kind of always be taking the notes. Everything could be important, whether, there's some students that just kind of space out and just only listen to some of the stuff the teacher says. I just find that, they're teaching it for a reason.
To study for a test, I make note cards and flashcards, and study guides really help. And if I don't have a study guide, I just go over all of my notes. I take really good notes during class to make sure that I have everything.
Don't take classes with friends. Taking classes with your friends is probably the worst thing I've ever done in my life, because if you go to class with your friend, they're like, oh, so you know what, let's not go to class today, let's go to Albert Tacos, let's go get some food, let's go hang out, let's go do this and stuff, and it's a bad thing. And you know, even if you take classes with your friends and you manage to get to class, most of the time you're talking in the class about stuff that doesn't even matter. So you're at class, but you're not at class because you're with your friends.
Your behavior in class should be appropriate, preferably sitting to the front of the classroom, so that way you can hear the professor clearly and not be distracted in class. You should always do your homework, complete the assignments on time, do the reading assignments on time, come to class prepared, and be ready to learn something new.
If students have a question, it's always helpful for the teacher to give them feedback right away. At least when I turn in a paper, I expect to hear something more, what I need to improve. Praise is good, but I want teachers to tell me what I need to do to make it better.
Positive feedback is always great as well, and some positive critiques as well to let me know what I did wrong. It's not nice to work on a paper for 10 hours and then turn it in on Friday and get it back Monday with a bunch of red marks all over it. I'd like to know what I did wrong versus just getting some red marks on my paper. Some feedback, individual feedback always helps as well.
Having teachers that make a class fun is really important to me. I have a couple classes that are 3 hours, and sometimes they can be really boring, but if you have a teacher that makes it engaging and fun and group activities, it makes a huge difference and makes more kids want to actually attend class.
One of the things that teachers can do is to be a little bit more personal, because I think it helps the student to relate more to the teacher, and when they share their experiences as their student or when they were in college, it helps you to relate to them.
I like a class where I can talk to the professor and the class is very engaging, and where everyone kind of interacts with each other, and the class is a lively and fun class to talk and be into.
I expect the instructor to provide us with probably the most accurate information to help us become successful in the future, and they're here to help us to learn, so any information that they have to share with us, I find it's important, and it can be, you know, it could be applied to your classes or it could be applied to other aspects of life.
For a professor to help a student become successful, I believe that they need to involve the students, because if a teacher or professor just sits up there, lectures, and they have to take notes and that's it, game over, have fun, have a nice day, even though 90% of the teachers do that, it's probably the most boring thing in the world, and I hate it and I don't like it. But I believe if you have like activities in the class, debates, anything to help out to get the student like hands-on learning, I believe it makes a big difference in learning.
My advice to professors would be to come to class prepared, be organized, same type of thing as a student, but make class fun and enjoyable for your students to want to come to class and show up and participate in the class.
Professors should be loud when they teach their lesson, because if they're not loud and they're monotone and they're boring, I will not give a crap about what they're saying. So if they're loud and they're excited, that makes me excited, it makes me loud, it makes me want to get involved in the class, and it just helps me learn what they're trying to teach.